Cook situation and exactly what it is he's dealing with and how it came about?
Brandon Cooks has a knee issue. He will not be available this week, and that's what I can clarify for you.
Did he stayed in New York and it's from a procedure he had after the game?
Just as I've always done, I don't talk about specifics of the player's injuries, whether it's a midfoot sprain or some of the things we deal with. So, those are questions more for the specifics should be answered by the player. So, but he will not be available this week.
As far as you're surprised you're dealing with this, is that a fair thing to say coming out of the game?
Hey, it's injuries happen. Things come out of games, and doesn't always, no, nothing surprises me, frankly. It's all part of an NFL season.
Clarence Hill, All City, Dallas. Is this the same knee he was dealing with in camp?
I couldn't tell you. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, I would say yes. It would be my guess.
Regarding options to replace him, is Ryan Floyd an option? You talk about guys who see opportunities now with him.
Yeah, no, I love the guys we have here. Yeah, and Flo is definitely ready. He's someone that's been competing each week to be up, so he'll definitely have more opportunities. And I think the two Jalen's, this is more opportunities for them. Turpin. So, but yeah, and love our practice squad guys. Yeah, so we'll be in good shape there.
Mike Todd Archer with ESPN. With Tolbert and the work that he got with CD not here, is this the benefit of that now that you see what obviously he'll have to take on?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's a very good point. I think really all those guys, when as a young player in this league, regardless of the position, when you get reps, regardless of how you get them, there's tremendous value in that. And I think you can clearly see, what Jalen's done. He does a lot of the little things right, and he has a really good connection, with Dak and the quarterbacks, and it's only gonna get better. That's that's a beauty. If you look at top connections between quarterbacks and receivers, you look at Dak and CD as they continue to play year in and year out, those relationships and connections they take time to develop.
Saudi's at The Athletic. Mike, Dak, CD, others have talked about Brandon's professionalism. How much do you miss that when he's not around as well?
Oh yeah, definitely. Brandon Cooks has made a really big impact on our football team. It goes beyond the field. You talk about a true pro, teaching others, particularly young players, taking them under his wing. He's done all those things that you look for in a veteran player. So yeah, Brandon Cooks has a lot of love and respect, in this building.
You go a little bit further down the depth chart, when you look at the number 3 guys, that Turpin, Brooks, or for how their skill set lines up with what you're looking for from that slot as the number 3 guy.
Yeah, definitely. I don't really look at the position that way. I think if you watch us play over the course of a season, the important component in our receiver groups is their ability to be able to move them in all 3 spots. Whether it's the 1 spot, 2 spot, the 3 spot, and some guys can even play what I would recall the 4 spot, which would be in the backfield. So CD and Turp have also played there. So, yeah, their flexibility is important.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. How has Turpin grown as a receiver since you've gotten him?
I think tremendously. I love what he brings to the table. He's super detailed. Obviously, we go back to when he arrived, coming off of a USFL season. Didn't really have a chance to catch his breath. Came in at training camp, learned it, was learning on the go. The first year, obviously made an impact on our football team in the return game. But Turp can play every spot. He can play all 4 spots. He knows the offense inside and out. I'm just so proud of him. Love his energy. His athletic ability jumps off the charts. Very easy player to read from a quarterback position. You talk about the athletic ability and trusting guys getting in and out of his breaks. He gives us that. So I think he's grown a ton in the last year.
How much will Carson do today?
Hopefully, he's slated to go. So, this is an important day for him.
Eric Podell, CBS Sports. Mike, when a player that you developed in someone like Devontae Adams, there's word around the league may be available. What is your reaction to that, and then what is your conversation like with the front office?
Yeah, player acquisition is something that always goes on, and I've never gotten a habit of talking about players on other teams because I don't know if there's anything good that comes out of that. But personally, I tremendous love and respect for Devontae. I had a chance to see him out there in Vegas. in the preseason. So don't really know exactly what's going on there. But once again, we do feel very confident with our receiver room.
Babe.
Babe Loffmer, 105.3, The Fan. So, Mike, we all become sports fans at some time in our life. 72 was the Immaculate Reception. You being a Pittsburgh guy, when did you start kind of getting into sports and the Steelers, and who was your guy?
Oh, shoot, man, there's so many to pick from. 72 was really, as I remember it, is when things changed, in football. But, being born in '63 to go through the 70s back in Pittsburgh as a child, and just the way the city was booming with the steel industry, and it was just had a tremendous vibe to it. But '71 was really when the Pirates winning the World Series. Being a big fan of the Pirates, and Roberto Clemente was my favorite player. And then obviously had a great team. They won it again in '79. But the Steelers, I do remember the Immaculate Reception. And where I was, but that kind of that changed everything, because I can remember the Steelers losing the year before to the Dolphins, and that was a crushing win because especially because they hadn't won in quite some time. So, but that's when it changed, and the Steelers, the Raiders, and then the Cowboys, and I was a big Tony Dorsett fan, still am, and when they won the national championship at Pitt, because I live very close to the University of Pittsburgh, and watching Tony Dorsett go through Pitt, and then. A normal day for us back then was you watch the Steelers at 1 o'clock and you watch the Cowboys at 4 o'clock. So those are great years. 4 Super Bowls, 2 World Series, a national championship. So that was a great time to be a kid in Pittsburgh.
Benny Cunningham, being a tight end.
Benny Cunningham, yeah, big Benny, yeah.
Aaron Cousins, Lone Star Live. What drew you to KJ Henry, who you signed, and how quickly do you anticipate him?
No, it really goes back to he was someone who was on our radar earlier too. Going through training camp, and and it's like going off a little bit we talked about earlier. It's always you're always looking at players. You're always building that list and so forth, and so it's someone the personnel department had their eye on, and we just feel like he's a good fit for us.
Sydney.
Coach, you said that you remember where you were when the Immaculate Reception happened. Where were you?
In my parents' home, in the living room, watching it on. And I recall, I think it was black and white TV still. So because it was a big deal when the Wizard of Oz was on TV back then. So I remember we used to have to go across the street to the Tomasevich's house to watch because we didn't have color TV back then. So, but yeah, no, I think just like everybody, you didn't really believe it until you saw the replay. So, but yeah, that was obviously a historical play in the Steeler history.
You have the rabbit ears on the television.
Oh yeah. So.
You were the channel changer, right?
No.
Jane.
Jane Slater, NFL Network. Coach, given the fact that it's week 4 and you've got these injuries to 3 key players on your team, how do you keep this locker room galvanized and invested in the game right now? Because I can imagine that not just one of those alone would be tough, but all 3 can feel a little deflating if you're not careful.
Frankly, Jan, I think it's the total opposite of the tone of your question, not in a positive sense. I think it's a great opportunity for the others. I mean, it's very apparent. I mean, you walk into your team meeting and you got D-Law and Micah sitting in the front row because of injuries that they're dealing with. But it's a great opportunity for others, and we're excited about it. We took a step in New York, had a chance to catch our breath. Obviously, injuries are part of it. You never want to lose any of your guys, especially your top guys. But this is a great opportunity to show the quality of our football team, and we're excited about this opportunity.
Can you expand on that? How important it is to have DeMarcus and Micah sitting in those meetings front row despite the injuries, and how are they helping with some of the other guys step up?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're still a big part of our team. That hasn't changed. So they're still here every day. They're obviously going through the treatment process and so forth. But yeah, it's all about the journey. I mean, we got a lot of football in front of us.
Claire.
Well, Jane took my question because I was going to ask the tone same
Okay.
question. So
All
I
right.
do like how you said Dorset instead of Dorset, like we said down here. You changed it.
We can get away with a lot of things in Pittsburgh because of our accent. So yeah. So I don't know if our English teachers are proud of it, but back in
I
the
think
day,
he changed it after the draft to the
he
Heisman.
did. He
Yeah, I
did
think
change
he
it.
changed
Yes, exactly.
Time.
Mike, you've had Lawson up the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
What do you like about what he's done? And obviously, he's probably going to do some more.
I love the physicality of his game. Obviously, him coming late to camp, and that's something you notice right away. You can ask our offensive tackles. They just just the competition that we've had since he's been there. So, and I think now he's, into our scheme. He played some in the past with Paul, but yeah, I mean, he plays the right way. I love his temperament, but just a physical player.
With Bland, is his window open this week, or do you kind of wait a little?
Yeah,
bit?
we're waiting to get some more information off of the workout with Britt, so we're working towards that.
Dave.
With Guyton, like you said, who's played pretty well overall, but has some of the holding calls, and how do you balance going into a game where you're going to attack a young rookie tackle anyway? Are they more likely to attack him because he has some of those penalties, and you have to be aware of that? Shade help at times, or just how do you approach it overall?
I mean, I think they're definitely aware, but the way their edge pieces play, they've been playing up there that way for three decades, since 1992 when that defense went in. So that's not going to change regardless of who's playing tackle. But as far as the penalties and that's what self scouts for. I felt like we took the time Monday to go through those things in detail, and we'll work them today. That's really what your individual drills are for, your combination drills, your group drills. That's what you do at practice. You work on the specifics and to make sure the guys are getting the detail that they need. At the end of the day, it comes down to the footwork and hand placement, and it's a growing process for all of our young guys. So, but yeah, I mean, we're definitely aware of how they play, and it's an extremely impressive defense.
All righty, thank you, Mike.
All right, thank you.